What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing to the channel, and while you're at it, go ahead and smash that like button for me. I really would appreciate that. Well, guys, 2023 is here. A lot of people have set New Year's resolutions, and I've set mine. I hope you've set yours. I think one of the top New Year's resolutions of the year is to increase the income and increase the net worth. So a lot of people are saying, I want to make more money in 2023. How do I make more money in 2023? How do I start creating additional streams of income in 2023? What are the best side hustles that I can start in 2023? And, how do I create an emergency fund? How do I build an emergency fund fast? How do I make more money per hour? These are a lot of the goals and questions that I'm repeatedly being asked, and it makes a lot of sense. For whatever reason, I don't understand it personally, but I think a lot of people feel like when the new year starts, it's a fresh start. And this is the time when I can make this great reset and make life, set goals for myself that I wasn't able to set before. Now, to be very honest with you guys, this is a big lie. And on this channel, I want to share the truth with you. And I think I think more and more people are seeking out the truth. Well, the truth of the fact of the matter is that you never had to wait till January 1st to set your goals. And you certainly don't need to wait till January 1st to start building wealth for you and your family. Now, I want to talk to you guys about some things that I just will not buy in 2023. And this has nothing to do with the fact that the Federal Reserve has raised interest rates and the Fed is aggressively addressing or attacking inflation, or even the fact that we could very well be headed into a recession. These things that I would not buy in 2023 have everything to do with the current financial situation of the individual. So if I am an individual who has very little wealth, if I have minimal assets, these are some things I will not buy. So number one, I will not be spending $400 or even more than $100 on a pair of sneakers. I just won't do it. Simple fact of the matter is that if you are carrying high interest credit card debt, if you are looking at your balance sheet, you're looking at your budget, and you're saying to yourself, you know what, times are tough, I don't have money set aside, or I don't have the money to invest, there's no way in the world you're going to see me out buying new sneakers. Unless my sneakers have holes in them, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to rock, red bottom sneakers. I'm not going to rock the new Yeezys I'm not going to go out and buy these items knowing that I don't have money to invest. Period and point blank. I'm not going to rush out and buy the brand new iPhone 14 Pro. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to rush out at the release date of the Samsung S23 smartphone and cop that new smartphone knowing I don't have money set aside to invest. I'm not buying the latest smartphone. I'm not buying the latest flat screen TV knowing I'm already carrying a high interest credit card balance. It just doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense. These are some of the things I'm not going to buy. These are some of the things I am not going to be purchasing in 2023 if I don't have money set aside to invest and build my wealth and grow passive income streams. Another thing I will not buy is a vacation. Now, yeah, we all need to rest. We all need to relax. We work hard. Most of us, many of us, 9-to-5 jobs. Some of you are starting side hustles. Maybe you're a 1099 worker. Maybe you're a small business owner. Whatever the case is, unless I have discretionary income, for me, discretionary income is income well above and beyond my expenses, and income well above and beyond money I have already decided that will be allocated toward investing. So any money above and beyond that is discretionary income. Now, some people are investing even though they're in debt. This is a tricky conversation to have, and I apologize, it's a little loud right now because it's raining, but this is a tricky conversation to have. Do I invest while I'm in debt? I'll give you one example of a reason why I might invest while I'm in debt. And the reason would be is if I am working for an employer who has a 100% match on 401k. In that example, I'm going to double my money. That's a 100% rate of return for every dollar I'm putting into the 401k. So in that case, it's kind of like, okay, unless my interest rate on whatever debt I'm carrying is greater than 100%, then chances are I'm actually better off taking some of that money and, paying off or contributing and investing into my 401k. But aside from that, I'm not going to just invest in the stock market, hope to earn 10% on my money. Meanwhile, I'm paying a guaranteed credit card interest rate of, say, 18, 20, 25%, 30%. That's not the road to wealth. That's basic math telling me, okay, I'm making less than what I'm spending. So if that is the case, obviously, based on the simple mathematics, I'm not going to invest while I'm still paying high interest credit card debt, or any high interest debt for that matter. So another thing that I'm not going to spend money on in 2023 is I am not going to spend $300 a month for cable service. I'm not going to do it. Anyone who's telling me, hey Ron, I'm trying to improve my financial situation, I'm trying to build wealth, I'm trying to acquire assets in 2023, how do I do that? How do I get started? How do I get out of debt faster? If you're paying hundreds of dollars a month for cable service and you're in debt and you're asking me how to get out of debt, that's the first thing I'm going to tell you. I'm going to ask you, why are you doing this? It's like your actions are not in alignment with what your goals are. And this is why I always ask, what are your goals? Because once I understand what a person's goals are, I can look at what they're doing. I can look at what a person's spending. How is a person spending their time? How is a person spending their money? That tells me everything I need to know about, number one, how serious they are about achieving their goals. But number two, if they're ever going to reach their goals. Most people I talk to, with the exception of a few people, but the vast majority of people I talk to, they're doing things that are not in alignment with what their goals are. And one thing I happen to come in contact with, or this mindset or philosophy that I encounter often, is people don't have enough of they don't have enough value in themselves. They don't place a high enough value in themselves to allow themselves to progress. Now, I'm gonna give you a great example. I met a girl the other day, just talking. We were in the gym, and she had her fairly expensive handbag. It's probably I don't know how much this Louis Vuitton handbag cost. It might have cost $2,000. I don't know, but she had it sitting on a piece of workout equipment that I needed to use, and she wasn't using this piece of workout equipment. 5 minutes went by. I'm watching her bag sit on this bench because I needed it. And I'm like, I'm not trying to move nobody's stuff, but at the same time, it's like, look, there's only one of these benches and I needed it to finish my workout. So I figure out that, okay, it's this girl who owns this bag. And I asked her, I was like, hey, can I jump on this right quick? I'm not trying to move your stuff. So she's like, oh, I only got a couple more sets. And meanwhile, I'm like, now I done watched you for 5 minutes. I watched this bench not in use for 5 minutes. You were literally in my way. So I asked her, I was like, is there any reason why you're you brought this bag, you have this bag that you've left on the bench here. Is there any reason why you didn't just like leave that in a locker? I've seen her around the gym from time to time. She's a familiar face. And she was like, well, this is a Louis Vuitton bag, blah, blah, blah. And, it costs, she didn't say how much it cost, but the fact that she told me it was a Louis Vuitton bag told me that her bag was too expensive to put in a locker. Now I'm a little frustrated because I'm like, she's in my way. The fact that she left her stuff here. But the simple fact of the matter is that a lot of people need to validate themselves by having or wearing certain brands. And I don't know how much money she had in this bag, but I have talked to a number of different people, clients, and many of the clients that I've talked to in the past spent more money on the bag than the money that was in the bag. So they're clearly not getting the bag, if you guys understand what I'm saying. So I'm like, I realize that it's nice to get new stuff. It's nice to have nice things. It's great to have nice things. I like nice things. I'm not saying don't. But what I am saying is we need to have, as a people, we need to have a higher self-worth of ourselves to know that we are of value, and we don't need to wear a $500 t-shirt because someone's name is on it to validate ourselves so that we feel good about ourselves. You shouldn't need to have to carry a $2,000 Louis Vuitton handbag to feel good about yourself. And the simple fact of the matter is that a lot of people don't have the self-worth, a high enough self-image of themselves to understand that you don't need to have name brand handbags, name brand, shirts, jackets, belts to feel good about yourself. And the problem is a lot of people are out trying to flex on others. And it's like, number one, doing that is all it's doing is creating jealousy and envy, and those are not positive things, number one. But the other thing is that most people are not even in the financial position to do that. So you go into debt buying these luxury items for what? It's like you're not in a position to have these luxuries. These luxuries are holding you back financially, digging you further and further into debt. Now, on the other hand, I've been there, so I can speak from this perspective. I've allowed society to manipulate my mind at one point to convince me that I needed these things in order to achieve happiness or to be happy, even though financially I couldn't afford them. Took a lot of realizing that, those types of purchases will forever hold you back. They were holding me back. And once I got to a point of letting that go, I began to build my own self-worth up to a point where I didn't need these things to feel good. And at the same time, my net worth started going up since I stopped buying things I couldn't afford. So in 2023, I'm not buying things that I cannot afford. Now, thankfully, I'm now in a position where I can pretty much buy whatever I want. But it took a lot of upfront initial sacrifice to get to that point. But now, in addition to that, it's kind of like if you've ever built anything, like you ever go to IKEA, you buy some furniture, maybe you bought like two chairs, 4 chairs or whatever, maybe a couple of cabinets. Well, the thing is if you've ever built anything, the first time you build it, it takes the longest. But the next time you build it, so let's say you have 4 chairs. You build out the first chair, you didn't know what you're doing, you're trying to understand these instructions, and you finally get it built out. Then the next chair, you remember a lot of the instructions, so you don't have to reference the manual as much. The third chair, you could pretty much do it by memory. The fourth chair, you built it faster than the first 3, and you probably built it better than the first 3 as well. And this is exactly how it goes, in terms of building your net worth, starting a business. And so my little message for you guys is pay attention to where your money's going. If that money is not getting you out of debt, if it's not building your net worth, then you really got to ask yourself, is this the right thing? So by freeing yourself up of debt, you will free up your cash flow to be able to make investments into assets that will pay you and will allow you the financial freedom that most people desire. You know, like who wouldn't want to be able to make money while they're asleep? Who wouldn't want to be able to create a form of a business, ideally some form of a digital business, online business that can ultimately be run passively to generate income for years and years to come? So this is the direction that we're going. And, you know, you're seeing the layoffs from many different companies on the S&P 500. Many of these major companies that we've all heard of, we all shop at, you know, announcing layoffs. If you're one of the people who are concerned about the stability of your job, you got to ask yourself, okay, how long am I going to sit in this position and be vulnerable? So anyway, starting with a budget, creating that budget and eliminating unnecessary spending, unnecessary items from that budget is the first step to freeing up cash flow. Next thing I would be doing is I'd be investing in the investments that are going to pay me the highest return on my investment. Number one, for me, it's always been investing in myself. Now, above and beyond investing in myself, I'd then be looking at investing in stocks, real estate, and likely starting a business, small business, online business, or even just a small side hustle that could eventually evolve into being a full-fledged business. You don't need to run out and, you know, create an LLC or an S corp right out the gate, but, you know, start something that could eventually grow into something bigger. So hope you guys got some value out of this video. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one. If you want to take it a step further, you can join the Patreon community. There is a link in the description down below. Over in that group, we talk about creating side hustles, online businesses, and, you know, even investing in the stock market for the very first time. But if you guys are interested in learning how to maximize your income, join the Patreon community. The link is in the description down below. Y'all be safe.